Ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Monday, May the 2nd, 2022. Hope you are all doing well. I'm Chris Phillips, your host of the Daily Crow of the Spurs Up Show. As always, yes, we are back in studio. Feels good to be back on home soil, and I appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Very excited again to be back. Daily Crow rocking and rolling. We're back to a normal schedule, and we've got a lot to get into here on this Monday from Carolina baseball, the NFL draft, things happening across college athletics. Again, folks, I appreciate you all. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'm very excited to chat with each and every single one of you. I see Travi, Cody Gaskins, Brennan M., Tyler Gay, Wesley, Chase Youngblood. What's going on, guys? Also, of course, you're the Big Cock Club Discord, have the TDC Questions channel, the TDC Questions channel. To be sure, your questions are answered there. Of course, guys, we are taking your questions, your comments, your calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. I definitely want to hear from you here on this Monday. Also, by the way, guys, as you see up here in the top corner, we've got a new sponsor. We got a new partner, our friends over at MatchBets, matchbets.com. And you guys know I love the gambling side of things, of course. It's a lot of fun. It makes things fun. If you're looking for a new sports book, and if you're not, you should because of the promo we've got going with these guys. You use the promo code TSUS at sign up at matchbets.com. You're going to get a 100% deposit match up to $4,000. So, on that note, again, if you're looking for a new book or you just really want a big-time bonus when you join a new book, MatchBets is the way to go. Guys, I've used their site. It's super easy, super convenient. The payouts are easy and convenient, which is a very big deal. So, again, that's matchbets.com, matchbets.com. And when you sign up, use the promo code TSUS. Again, appreciate you all tuning in. John Kruger says, want to jump in here real quick, say hello. Won't be able to tune into the show. Have to listen to NASCAR. The NASCAR race postponed till today. Got you. Okay, John, have fun with the NASCAR race. Lance, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in, my guy. Travis Allen, what's up? Let's see. Again, guys, I do want to hear from you. 843-790-3377. It feels good to be back. We had a fantastic vacation. Had a great time down in Orlando. I appreciate, again, you guys just being cool with everything, rolling with the punches. Continue to show love and support while we're gone, whether it be in the merchandise, the content, everything we do, the podcast. Of course, podcast did drop this morning, guys. We're back to I'll say 99% normal schedule this week. The only thing that's different is that Tin Roof will be live at Tin Roof 5 to 7 instead of 6 to 8. And the reason for that is because Gamecocks baseball plays Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. So I did not want to try to compete with the baseball game. And I personally miss going to Founders Park. I was not obviously at the series this past weekend, so very excited to get back out there. So we will be out there at Founders Park at 7 o'clock, but we're going to go live at Tin Roof from 5 to 7 and then slide right over to Founders. That is the only difference, though. Podcast Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Daily Crow every single day this week, noon to 2. So we are back to a normal schedule for the most part this week, and I'm really excited for that. Vacation was awesome, though. Had a really, really good time. We couldn't have asked for better weather down in Orlando. I mean, it was absolutely perfect all 4 or 5 days or so we were there. Airbnb was incredible. Great group of dudes. Rode some great rides, and we had a good time. So, it was really, really good stuff. But like I said, excited to get back. And we got a lot of exciting stuff happening. Beginning a new month, obviously, the month of May. A lot of fun things happening, guys. We actually just dropped some new merch this morning as well. If you need a flag for the tailgate, you need a flag for your man cave, you need a flag for your dorm, whatever it might be, we dropped a ton of new flags with all your favorite collections. From Beamer Ball, Clem Sucks, all aboard the Shane Train, Shane Storm. If it ain't swaying, we ain't playing. Ass kicking chicken, welcome home. Everything you can think of, you can now get it in flag form. Also, later today, we're going to be dropping tank tops in basically every design we have, everything you can think of for the summer. So, again, really appreciate you guys. I love and support. And, again, big things are happening. We've also got some big stuff happening behind the scenes in regards to just business and business initiatives. And as we move into the month of June, as I already told you all, probably going to be taking some time to work on those things. But again, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But coming off the weekend, hey, South Carolina baseball, I guess I need to leave town more often because the Gamecocks found a way to win all 3 games this weekend, taking down all them. And it's crazy, guys. It really just came to fruition what we said about this team, right? It really came to fruition what we said about this team in the sense of this team's a different team at home, right? And I could argue that being at home was what gave you the edge this past weekend. I mean, you think you could have easily lost 2 or 3. Could have easily lost 2 or 3 this past weekend. Instead, you get the sweep. You have the last at bat on Thursday, and you get the walk-off, and then Friday you're at home and you win a game 2-1. But either way, you found a way to get the job done. The bigger challenge now as you sit 9-12 in SEC play is, can you take what you did? Can you take what you did this past weekend and go do something with it that you have not done all season long, and that is go win on the road and play good baseball on the road, bottom line. Because that's what it'll come down to. 6 of your last 9 games are on the road. I mean, it was a great weekend, and here's what you hope. Because I've said many times, this team is what it is, right? It's Jekyll and it's Hyde. Who knows what you're going to get when the Yardcocks take the field. What you're hoping is that this past weekend was a sign of a bunch of youngsters, because you're depending on so many young guys. Guys, you look, Talmadge Lecroy, Evan Stone, Carson Hornung, Matthew Becker, Cade Austin. And these aren't guys that are just playing every now and then. These are big-time contributors. These are your main dudes. What you're hoping this past weekend symbolizes is those youngsters sort of turning a corner, growing up a little bit, and the pieces sort of coming together. And it all starting to gel, and South kind of starting to play their best baseball down the stretch. Because this is the time of year you want to be playing your best baseball. And so, Mark Kingston taught last week, which I think he actually made a really good point, that South gonna, there's 3 big components, right? Pitching, hitting, and fielding. And for whatever reason, it just felt like over the last couple of weeks, South Carolina would pitch well and play good defense, but they couldn't hit. Or they'd hit well and play good defense, but they couldn't pitch. They just couldn't get all those 3 components to come together. Maybe this past weekend against Alabama gives you that confidence, and you can vault that into playing well in all 3 phases and going on a crazy run the last 9 games. Either way, though, huge weekend series victory and a huge, huge sweep, one that you had to have against Alabama. So we'll see if they can turn anything big, but overall it was a great weekend, a successful weekend at Founders. And, I still think making the postseason a long shot. I do. I think making the postseason's a long shot. No doubt. I do. I just think that sitting at 9-12, the midweek losses still hurt you. And the fact of the matter is this, you still have to go 6-3 in SEC play. You've still got to find a way to go 6-3 in your final 9 in SEC play to get to that coveted 15-15 mark. And you take on Texas A&M. You take on Texas A&M, who is ranked 13th in the country. You take on Kentucky, who that should be a series victory. That should be one that you feel pretty good about and that you should be able to take advantage of. And then you have the Florida Gators. And while they've struggled, it's at Florida. And again, you just have not played well on the road. So that's what you're going to have to do. If you're going to make any sort of push towards the postseason, you're going to have to do something you have not done all season long. That's win on the road. So anyways, guys, I do want to hear from you. Jimmy says, craziest story from the bachelor trip. We are all living through you. Jimmy, I'll be honest with you, man. Nothing crazy really happened. I'll be honest with you, of course. Nothing happened. Nothing. We didn't go out. There was no – it was – and I love my future brother-in-law. Cameron's an amazing dude. But let me put it to you this way. He is an engineer. My sister's also an engineer, but he is an engineer. And all of his buddies are engineers. And this is not a knock on any engineers out there. You guys are extremely smart and very successful and awesome people, right? For the most part, whatever. And they were this group of dudes, this group of guys, great group of guys, awesome dudes. But it was what you'd expect a bachelor party with 10 other engineers to be like. Like it wasn't some crazy madness, whatever. We went to a theme park for a bachelor party, my guy. So nothing crazy happened, which, you know what? I loved the tone of it. I loved the vibe. I thought the vibe was excellent. I thought we had a really, really good time. And, it felt more so like a vacation than anything, but I loved it. I loved every second of it. So I would definitely do it again. Tyler Gay says, do you think we'll have another month where we have a big stretch of recruits like last year? We'll see. I think definitely, certainly that's something that will happen because you're going to start having these camps and having guys on campus and certainly dudes like to commit when that happens. I think that just makes sense. Noah Johns, yeah, what a weekend. What a weekend. Getting the sweep, just crazy. Joey says, I don't get to tune in as often as I would like, so what's the latest on Julian Bosnick? Joey, he's out for the year. That's already confirmed. Mark Kingston's already gone on record. Julian Bosnick is out for the year. He is out for the season. I think he's having some sort of procedure. It's going to take about 3 months for recovery. He's done. He's done. Anyways, guys, we are taking your questions, your comments, your calls. We can talk South Carolina baseball, of course. Big weekend. Gamecocks get the series sweep. Also, something that has come up. Also, something that's come up that I'm excited to chat about, and we can go as deep as you guys want to go. But college football as a whole, and I know this is something my good buddy Phil, who calls on the show, has brought up, that certain things happen that make him like college football less. And I get that. I get that, right? Whether it be NIL, whether it be transfer portal, whether it be anything in between, right? There are things that happen that can make you like the game less. And what this conversation, where it stems from, is the latest on the Pittsburgh receiver that is rumored to be transferring to Southern Cal and will be receiving $3 million to do so. And again, these are all rumored numbers, but there's going to be some exchanging of money for him to come to Southern Cal, right? And so the word tampering comes up. And overall, just the wild, wild west that is NIL, right? And I made this point on Twitter this morning, and I'll say it yet again. I'm not going to watch college football anymore crowd. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You may not like the way NIL is going. You may not like the transfer portal, and there may be other things you don't like. And I'm not saying there doesn't need to be change, or at least some sort of guidelines. That's the problem we have right now with NIL. There are no guidelines. It's the wild, wild west. You can do whatever you want. And I don't even question the kids. I don't question the players. Because you know what? If somebody tells you you're worth $3 million, come to our school, you'd be a fool not to take it. You'd be a fool not to take it. I question the boosters. I question the boosters. I question the adults in the room. Like, I personally can't fathom. Hey, you got money to throw around, great. And South Carolina fans, we certainly shouldn't be a group of folks that complain about NIL, that complain about the transfer portal. It worked for us. Spencer Rattler is our quarterback. And guys, I don't think he came here for free. Just call it for what it is, right? Just call it for what it is. But it's still just, I know that for many, winning at all costs is a belief system for many. I just it just doesn't make sense to me, to be honest with you guys. It doesn't make sense. Like, if boosters are foolish enough, if they're silly enough to pay $3 million for a wide receiver from Pittsburgh, then so be it. You know what I mean? So be it. Let them. Let them. Now, with that being said, there needs to be some sort of structure in place. It's insane to think. It's insane that college football and college athletics is what it is, and we don't have a more competent governing body than what the NCAA provides us. What does the NCAA really do except mess things up? What does the NCAA really do that's positive? What do they do? But this notion that people are going to stop watching college football. Well, if that's the case, it's got to be replaced with something. And I understand we've never had more options for entertainment than we do right now, right? But if you're a diehard fan of your school, you're not going anywhere. You're not. Let's keep it real. You're not going anywhere, right? And I've said this, and this takes me down a different path. I've said this before, and it's a very unpopular, I would imagine, unpopular opinion. And you see this win at all costs mentality. And guys, we all understand, like, winning a national championship is great. God, I'd love to see South Carolina win one. Winning the ultimate prize is something that should be sought after. It should. I will tell you this, and I got crushed for it a couple years ago. We published an article, and it was actually one of my contributors at the time that wrote it, but I agreed with him. Guys, every year in college football, there are 6 to 8 teams that realistically have a shot to win it. Everybody else is playing for a nice bowl game. You can try to convince yourself otherwise, but that's the reality. I mean, I can tell you right now, going into this upcoming season, it's Georgia, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Clemson, Alabama. How did I leave them off? Alabama, maybe like an Oregon, maybe. Who else? I mean, who else? Maybe a Michigan, maybe. 6 to 8 at most that can realistically win the national championship. Realistically. And so for South Carolina to get there, I mean, we're going to have to do things that we haven't done. We're going to have to cheat. And it's not even cheating anymore, though. It's not even cheating. NIL has just changed the game. Nothing's happening now that didn't happen before. It's just in your face now. It's just in your face. But again, the notion that people are going to stop watching college football, it's just, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. You can not like it as much as maybe you thought you did or you once did, but you're not going to stop watching, guys. It's a drug. You're addicted. You're addicted. Because there are some things in college football that will never change. The pageantry, the rivalries, the tailgating, the atmosphere, the emotions, that logo, it will never change. It will never change. And again, I'm not saying there doesn't need to be some sort of structure in place, because there does. There does. Right? There does. And I am a proponent. I like NIL. I like it, guys. I've felt the benefits of it. And we've been able to positively benefit student athletes. Right? That's a great thing. On the flip side, to play devil's advocate, I understand that the NCAA has exploited college athletes. But also, and some people are going to not like this at all. But again, I'm just trying to give you guys the other side of the coin. Greed took over. Somewhere greed crept in. Because college football players, especially, they're treated like kings. Even if you're not getting NIL, you're treated like a king. If you're the walk-on long snapper at South Carolina, you have it good. You do. Like, let's not pretend like the days of guys eating ramen in the dorms is over. That's for the most part, I don't think that's happening. Not at an SEC school, I don't think. But I like NIL. Like, you shouldn't be penalized. If I want to go give Luke Doty $100 to sign a helmet, he shouldn't be penalized. Right? And Joby Guyton says NIL should not be allowed to be used as a recruiting tool. And let me say this again. That was the big question, right? When NIL came up, how's it going to affect recruiting? Right? It's going to change recruiting. Right? And certainly it plays a role. Like, I think NIL factors into recruiting. I think it'd be foolish to say it doesn't. But I said this last summer, and I'll say it again. Like, if you're a prospect, if you're a high school kid, you're a high school recruit, NIL is great, man. Go get your money. But you still better go somewhere. You still better look at coaching staff. You still better look at culture. You still better look at depth chart and playing time. Because, guys, the third string tight end ain't getting paid. He ain't. Sorry. The backup center's not getting paid. So if you're not going somewhere where you can flourish as a player, have a chance to be an all-conference kind of guy, then the NIL stuff's not going to matter to you. Yeah, and Trevi, I do agree. I think Power 5 at some point is going to separate itself as its own thing. I think that just makes sense. You know what I mean? I think it just makes sense. Yeah, I think the SEC will break off probably at some point. And again, just the Power 5 as a whole will break off at some point. It's just it's incredible to me. It's baffling we don't have a more competent governing body than the NCAA. And that there's you roll out this NIL thing with just no restrictions and no guidelines whatsoever. None. Absolutely none. And by the way, the big deals you see, and it's not just the Southern Cal thing with that Pittsburgh receiver. You saw the kid from Miami, the basketball player, saying, if my NIL's not, here's my thing, guys. We saw the Miami guy say, if my NIL's not increased, I'm going to go elsewhere. You know what I would tell the kid? Good luck. Go ahead. Because I don't want a player on my roster with your attitude anyways. Sorry. We will go find someone else. The kids aren't hurting the schools. The kids are hurting themselves. In that type of scenario, if that becomes a trend, you're hurting yourself. You're hurting yourself. Go get your paper, man. Go get your money. What happened to team above me, though? Like, what happened to playing for a team? That is not to say you shouldn't be able to hit the portal. That's not to say you shouldn't be able to get paid. But, like, what happened to any sense of loyalty? What happened to having any sort of gratitude for a school even offering you a scholarship? Like, nobody has to recruit you. Nobody has to sign you. You don't have to play. The program is bigger than you. It was here before you. It will be here after you. It's just, how do you fix it? How do you fix it, right? I do think there's got to be some sort of restrictions. There's got to be, and again, the big time crazy deal. I mean, I look at more so, from the business perspective. I'm a small business owner from the business perspective. The thing you heard about at Miami and other schools, they're offering offensive linemen $50,000. Like, who are these people? Who are these business owners? These people are insane. These people are insane. And getting back to my point I was trying to get to earlier, but I did not. Here's what it all stems from. And again, you can feel whatever type of way you want. You can call this a loser mentality. I am speaking from the fan perspective. And maybe it's always been like this, right? Where, like, you look at the NBA, players are judged solely off rings, right? Just solely off championships. You're judged when it comes to greatness solely off of the titles. And the pursuit of excellence and the pursuit of a title and a championship, it's a beautiful thing. It's a great thing, right? Winning is what makes it fun. There's a reason they keep score. It matters if you win or lose, right? But this attitude of win at all costs. Win at all costs. Hey, we're Texas A&M. We're going to pay $30 million for a recruiting class. Win at all costs. It's a poison. And college football fans, hear me out, 94% of the schools out there, their fans would be much happier on a day in, day out basis if they realized that 8-4 was a great year. if they realize that that was a really great year, if they realize that 6 to 8 are playing for the ultimate prize, and I'm not saying don't build and strive to get there, but guys, there's some schools right now I can tell you that in our lifetime we'll never win a national championship. That doesn't mean they're a terrible program. That doesn't mean they're not going to win some big games. That doesn't mean they can't even win a conference title. But let's look. Mississippi State. They're never going to win a national championship. Not in football. Ever. It's never going to happen. Right? Kentucky. It's never going to happen. Ever. Guys, many would label South Carolina in that category. It hurts me to say, and I don't want to believe it. I mean, you look at teams like Wake Forest. They're never going to win a national title in football. Syracuse. Like, the list goes on and on, guys. It's the majority. It's the majority. Wisconsin, Iowa, Iowa State. I mean, so I see it with Gamecock fans, and it's within every fan base, though. I'm not saying don't strive to be elite and don't strive to win national titles, but guys, you're a fan. You don't have any control. You have none. And if you're not a big-time paying booster, you really don't have any control. So all I'm saying is this: college football fans, their overall mental health would be much higher if they realized, if people realized, you're not a bad team if you go 8-4. Like, you had a good year. You had a good year. Like, it's nothing to be ashamed of and hang your head about. South Carolina last year went 7-6 and won a Belt Bowl. They had a good year. I'm not saying don't strive for more. That's not what I'm saying. But having perspective, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. Again, some will label that as a loser mentality. But guys, again, you're a fan. Now, the mindset in the building should be completely different than what I'm saying. And if it's not, then we have issues. The mindset in the building and the mindset as the competitor on the field should be, we're going to win every single game we play. That should be the mindset of the coaching staff, the players, the support staff, the recruit staff, everybody. Everybody. You shouldn't be in the building if your mindset's not win national championships, win a title, all fighting to the same goal. But as a fan that just follows along and consumes content and goes to the games, I think if people accepted that sobering reality, they'd enjoy college football a lot more. People like NIL until players go get the bag. And then they don't like it. Don't fault the athletes. Don't fault the players. Fault the adults. Fault the adults in the room that are throwing around $3 million for a wide receiver from Pittsburgh. I know he won the Biletnikoff. I know he had 100 catches last year, which is insane. But you're telling me Southern Cal is going to win a national title because they picked up one guy? Like, no, they're not. Don't mean shit if you can't block. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's silly to me. It's silly to me. Some of it's just like crazy to me. Crazy. Savannah Webster says, my only issue with NIL is you should put in the contract you can't sit out games. Do you believe that's a problem right now, Savannah? Do you feel like people are sitting out games? Yeah, Joey, we had 3 hit the portal over the weekend. Trey Adkins, Sam Reynolds, who are both wide receivers, and then Justin Turnentine, offensive lineman, which is one that that one surprised me a little bit. He started 7 games a year ago. That one was a little surprising for sure. And we can get into that if you guys want. Yeah, and Travie puts it well here. Like you said, Alabama has a set of different problems than Middle Tennessee State. Overall, the Power Five has a set of different issues, money, and the ultimate goal than the FBS. Absolutely. Absolutely, Travie. And here's why the Power Five should break off. Again, this is just going down another rabbit hole. The Group of 5 needs its own playoff. Because, guys, again, App State ain't playing for the same trophy as Alabama.
Robbie
So we'll
Davis,
get into that in a second.
Kirk Herbstreit.
Just something fun.
To accept.
Robbie, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good on this Monday. How are you? Are you recovered from the weekend?
My friend, I'm doing great. I'm doing great, man. I'm excited to be back.
I just wanted to say, one, I agree with basically everything you just said, okay? But also, I want to add on to that, okay? Those of you that are watching this and you don't like the fact that NIL is a thing, I hate to say this, it's a thing. It's happening right in front of you, and there's nothing you can really do about it. Whether you like it or you love it or you hate it or you just loathe it, okay, and hate it with a passion, NIL is a thing. And I personally thought you got the recruits, okay? Because before NIL, I guarantee you, a lot of schools guarantee you of that. All right? And I was in shock this weekend whenever we swept Alabama, because I did not think we were going to sweep Alabama, and we did. And the portal also is a thing, okay? It's not going nowhere. The portal is a thing, okay? Build a bridge, get over it, accept it. It is what it is.
I agree. Hey, I think that's well said. And, again, I think there's definitely adjustments need to be made. It's not a perfect system for sure, but, it is the new reality. And I certainly, we're not going to go backwards. We're not going to go backwards. That is a fact. We're not going to go backwards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're going to go back to, well, never mind. NIL didn't work. We're going to eliminate it. You just now have to, if you hate it, you just got to make the best of it in the sense of, the adjustments being made and putting some sort of, but again, it's, I guess my question would be, how do you tell, I guess my question is this, what is people's issue with it? Is it how much the players are making? Is it, what is it? I understand the tampering thing, and I understand, like, it's not cool for schools to poach players, and, that to me feels like that should be illegal. That feels like that should be illegal. But how do you control it? I don't know.
Well, I think at some point they'll figure out something.
Oh, for sure. I mean, adjustments have got to be made. Adjustments have got to be made. Whether it's this Southern Cal story or something else that's going to shake people up and say, okay, this is the one we got to change now. We got to make an adjustment. So, yeah, it will happen. It will certainly happen. How soon? I don't know.
I watched a little bit of the NFL draft this past weekend. Okay. Now, obviously, this dude's now going to be making a crap ton of money playing in the NFL. An offensive lineman from the University of Iowa made a lot of money with NIL, okay? Like $3,000 or something like that. Okay. Obviously he didn't need it, so he gave it, all of it, every dime, every nickel, every dollar to the Iowa Children's Hospital, which is right next to the football field. Because he didn't need it, because he's now playing in the NFL and possibly going to be making even more money playing in the NFL.
I would hope you're making more money playing in the NFL than you make playing in college. But I guess now you never know.
Yeah. And those of you that are going to probably dislike me for saying this, you really think we got Spencer Rattler for free? No, absolutely not. The fact that Beamer was here may have a little bit to do with it, but it isn't all because of Beamer to why we got Spencer Rattler.
It's just the realities of recruiting, man. And again, it has been before this. I mean, you go back to the days of, J.D. Clowney didn't walk on campus for free. Alshon Jeffrey, Marcus Lattimore, Stephon Gilmore. That run of recruiting, you know what I mean? Having Spurrier and we have a lot to sell. Let's not sell ourselves short, but it's just the reality. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Bagmen have always been a thing.
Yeah.
It's just, it just is what it is. And it's it's not going to change. So.
Yeah. And before I get off of here, I found out last week that my dad's going to be doing a show very, very soon, within the next several weeks.
Gotcha.
At the Comedy House. Okay? I'm not talking about the one you're planning on coming. I'm talking about a completely different one. Okay?
Gotcha.
Do you know who Cletus C. Judd is?
That name sounds familiar.
He used to make parodies of country songs and then write his own stuff.
Yeah, I think I've definitely heard the name.
He was famous, but he decided to be a daddy instead of going and making money.
Gotcha.
He's going to be at the Comedy House in June. My dad is the feature for him at the Comedy House.
Very good. Very good. All right. Well, let me know the details whenever you get them.
I will. And like I said, I will probably be there whenever he does the show for the Raging Cajun. I'll probably be there Friday night and not Saturday, because my dad said he might go out of town after the Saturday shows. So I'll probably be there Friday and not Saturday.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, just let me know, Robbie. Let me know.
I'll keep you in the loop. I always do.
And I appreciate that as always.
Go Gamecocks and the heck with Clemson, doggone it. Bunch of cow milking losers.
I love it. Robbie, always a pleasure, my guy.
All right. You have a great day, okay?
Yeah, man. You too. Take care. Great stuff as always from our friend Robbie Davis. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Mark N says, make it mandatory to maintain certain grade average and stay out of trouble. Break either of those and the deal is null and void. Also put a cap on total NIL money schools can offer. The cap thing, Mark, you had me. You had me to the cap thing. You had me to the cap thing. Because it's like, Mark, let's just say right now, right? TSUS, if I had the means, hey, if I wanted to, let's say I wanted to call the Pittsburgh guy. I got in touch with his people. Hey, Southern Cal is going to give you 3. I'll give you 5. I will give you 5. NIL deal. You're a TSUS athlete. Mark, why can't I do that? Why can't I give him the money and bring him to Cola? Why can't I do it? How are you going to put a cap on what I can give him and what he can receive? And my money's got nothing to do with USC. It's got nothing to do with them. It's not the school's money, it's my money. You can't stop me from signing a $5 million check and giving it to that kid. How are you going to regulate that, Mark? That's my question. Like, how are you going to regulate that? It's just, these are boosters. But again, Mark, like how, this is off the record. It's not on the school. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a booster. I'm not even in the Gamecock Club. I'm just a business owner. How are you going to keep up with a total? I get what you're saying, but what you're basically saying, Mark, is every school has a salary cap. Now you're really turning it into the NFL. Now you're really professionalizing college athletics. Jeff Gullich says, what I don't like is there isn't loyalty. Selfishly want the best to stay with us or come to us. But then again, it happens in the business world all the time. People leave jobs, go to another job for more money all the time. The only time it's popping on news ads all the time. No one would honestly say they would turn down getting $1 million increase to the same they do for $50,000 around. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. We've just, and again, Jeff, it's I'm not demonizing or knocking anyone because the almighty dollar moves things, right? It's what makes the world go round. You have to have it. You have to have it. You have to have money. But, at some point, again, greed crept in. And just going to college and being an SEC athlete wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? It just wasn't good enough, right? I mean, the guys that played before NIL existed, the Jadeveon Clowneys and the Lattimores and the Alshon, I mean, they got along just fine, I think. I mean, I don't think they had a bad college experience. So, again, that's not me saying NIL is bad. I'm all for players getting theirs. And Mark says it's legal cheating now. Mark, it's just what's been happening forever, happening out in the open. That's all it is. That's all it is, Mark. If NIL didn't exist, and this Pittsburgh, here's the thing though, Mark. If NIL didn't exist and this Pittsburgh wide receiver thing happened, I don't think we'd even bat an eye. We would just say, well, yeah, he's going from Pitt to Southern Cal. I don't blame him. He wants to go play for Lincoln Riley. I don't blame him. We wouldn't even think twice about it. But because of NIL being out there now, the money figures are being thrown in your face, you don't like it. Right? And again, I'm not saying there doesn't need to be some sort of structure, some sort of, again, governing body, which the NCAA cannot be. And of course, Panic Ritter, right on cue, on brand, says, watch baseball lose tomorrow. Well, Panic Ritter, I have news for you. Baseball doesn't play tomorrow. They play Wednesday. So, there you go. There you go, Ritter. There you go. Let's see. Mark says, South Carolina's goal should be win the East and ruin Clemson's chance at the playoffs until they start winning 10-plus games on average. And Mark, that brings up, and let me get to that in a second. Lot of questions. Coach, for players getting paid is one thing. This is another. An NCAA standard stipend is fine. Players being paid for their likeness on a video game is okay. Players extorting during recruitment is another. Well, Coach Ford, here's the thing: a stipend. And my first thought when NIL came up and like the stipend thing, I didn't disagree. But the problem you run into is like the starting quarterback making the same amount as the long snapper. You know what I'm saying? So like if you're getting a stipend, and Coach Ford, to its core, I don't disagree that, and like college football less, is it being so greed driven, right? It's not good enough anymore that you get to be an SEC football player, right? You got to get paid now too. You got to make XYZ amount of money too, And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just making the point. But the stipend thing, it's like you can't just pay everybody the same amount because Jadeveon Clowney shouldn't be making the same amount of money as Patrick Fish, with all due respect. You know what I mean? And I hear you, Coach Ford. Get paid in the NFL, you're a cop. I don't disagree really with what you're saying or your line of thinking. I don't, but it's just the reality. Now it's the reality. But again, my mindset on it, guys, let me put it to you this way. If Jaheim Bell, love Jaheim Bell. If Jaheim Bell was offered $3 million by Texas, hey, come transfer to us. We'll give you $3 million. If Jaheim Bell wants to take it and go, I'd say don't let the door hit you on the way out. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, man. If that's what it's all about for you, you can go. That would be my approach. If I'm Pittsburgh, go ahead, go. If all your decision making is based off money, then just go. I don't want that guy anyways. Just my 2 cents. Guys, I want to get into a point that I believe it was Mark. Yeah, Mark made earlier about what Sal Kana's goals should be year in, year out. I want to talk about that more. I think that's just such a fascinating conversation and something we have discussed more, but I want to hear from you on it as well, and I want to give you guys my thoughts. Again, we're rocking, we're rolling here on this Monday. We're taking more of your questions, comments, calls, and more on the other side of the break. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Again, spirited conversation today. Of course, when you got going on what's going on in the college football world with the NIL stuff and players getting paid, I see Coach Ford saying we're seeing recruits extorting schools, just call it a farm league and stop going to classes/college. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. Travis says, I think if we start setting our sights on 8-4, and if we can consistently hit that number, then we can start shooting for different goals. In the short term, we need to get back to beating the Mizzous and Kentuckys of the world before we start tackling the Georgias of the world. This isn't a quick fix, wave a wand type deal, and we get back to 11-2. It's for the long haul. Can we exercise patience as a fan base? And that's what it'll come down to. I agree with you, Travis. And again, that takes us into the conversation that I was beginning before the break. What are realistic year in, year out expectations for South Carolina football? For me personally, I think reaching a level of being an 8 to 9 win per year program, let's say over the course of a decade, averaging 8 to 9 wins on a yearly basis, and every, let's say, 3 to 4 years, you either have the right quarterback or you have a veteran-laden team or your schedule works out in your favor or it's a down year in the SEC East or the SEC in general, whatever it might be. But every 3 to 4 years, realistically, you are competing to go to Atlanta and win an SEC championship. I really believe that's a realistic goal for South Carolina. Now, for those things to happen, for that to happen, and to get to that level where you are consistently hitting that mark, you got to change some trends around, right? You got to start beating the Kentuckys every year. You got to beat the Mizzous. You've got to beat Tennessee probably more often than you don't. Of course, you got to continue to beat Vanderbilt. But I do think that is a realistic goal for South Carolina. 8 to 9 wins per year on average, and every, let's say, 3 to 4 years, competing to go to Atlanta. I don't think that's unrealistic. And I'll tell you this, guys. If Shane Beamer hits that, if he averages 8 wins over the course of a decade, he's the greatest coach in school history. Purely off numbers alone, he's the greatest coach in school history. So I think it's achievable. I think it's doable. But I know what happens is folks look up the road at what Clemson has done and what they've built. Well, why can't South Carolina do that? Why can't we be that? And maybe we can. Maybe we can. But you got to walk before you can run. I think getting that 8 to 9 win per year mark, right? Then you can start to look at, okay, what do we need to do to become an elite to challenge the Georgias? Because, guys, Georgia's going nowhere. They're going nowhere. Bama's going nowhere. The elites are going nowhere. Most everybody's only getting better. And I say give Shane Beamer time and enjoy the ride while it's happening. Enjoy the ride while it's going on. Have some patience. As Travis said, have some patience. So, I mean, I would kill just for an SEC championship. An SEC championship, I'd kill for it. I'd kill for it. Since we're on the topic of football, heavy football combo today. I saw my good buddy Brad Crawford talking about this, and this is conversation he and I have had on the record. So if you disagree, direct all of your vitriol to Brad. But my good friend Brad Crawford talked about and has talked about, you know, for a lot of teams, there's a window. A lot of programs, there's a window. A window to win a championship, whether that be a conference title, a national title, whatever. And he feels and believes, and I'm sure he's far from the only one, believes that 2010 to 2013, that was the window for South Carolina, and it closed. That window closed. My question simply to you all is, do you believe that? Realistically, in your heart of hearts, do you think South Carolina can get back to that level? I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know that South Carolina will ever win 11 games 3 straight years. I don't know. I don't know that it'll happen. When you look across the league and the commitment to winning at, the Floridas and the Tennessees, of course, what Georgia's doing, but the Kentuckys, even the Missouris, hard to predict that's going to happen again. Hard to predict. Not saying it's impossible, but maybe South Carolina's window closed. Maybe it did. Maybe that was the window. Again, that's not to say we can't have a successful football program and have a lot of fun. But maybe that was the window. Marion R26 says, do you know the story on Ross not being drafted? They were saying he should have never played last year. Marion, I don't know. I saw this morning he got signed by the Kansas City Chiefs. Justin Ross from Clemson. Whether he should have played or he did. He did play. So that's that. I mean, what are they going to do? Arrest Dabo Swinney? What are they going to do? Arrest Dabo Swinney? Anyways, guys, would love to hear from you. 843-790-3377. So the phone lines are wide open. Phone lines are wide open. In case you missed it, podcast dropped this morning, episode 643. We are back to a normal schedule this week. Podcast today, Wednesday and Friday. Daily Crow each and every single day. And we're going to be live at Tin Roof on Wednesday, 5 to 7. And then we'll head out to Founders Park at 7 o'clock to watch the Yardcocks take on North Carolina A&T. Also, stay tuned. We might be doing some stuff at Carolina Ale House this weekend for the baseball series. So, a lot of moving pieces, a lot of exciting stuff. Also, there's new merch on the store, new flags on the store, tsus.store. That's tsus.store. All of your favorite designs, all of your favorite pieces, if you will, turned into flags. So be sure to check that out. Let's see. NCAA penalizes Scott Frost and Nebraska football. How about that? Sucks to suck, I guess. Travis says, you know what's so puzzling? We went 11-2. We didn't even make it to Atlanta. We're the best team in the East, yet we stumbled against the West. Yeah, it's sickening to think about, man. There was a loss every year that kept us out, right? In 11, it was Auburn. 12, it was LSU. And 13, it was Tennessee. So, yep, it sucks. It sucks. It definitely sucks. Definitely sucks. Somebody texts in, I feel bad for Jalen Foster. Guy deserves to be drafted. Deserves a chance, excuse me. I'm surprised he's not signed. I'm surprised at that. I really am. I mean, again, I didn't think he was going to get drafted. I mean, we're talking about a guy that was a walk-on. The measurables matter so much to scouts and everything. So I didn't think he'd be drafted, but led the SEC in picks? And he's not even getting a look? That seems crazy to me. Like, somebody needs to give the guy a chance to make a roster. Somebody needs to give the guy a chance to make a roster. Hey, how about Noah Hall? SEC co-pitcher of the week. Love to see it. Yep, we're getting that time, folks. We've hit May, the nitty-gritty. Hey, the SEC tournament is this week. Or no, not this week. This month. Why did I say this week? This month. May the 24th to the 29th. So, May 24th, 29th. Yeah, Tony Sharp, Benji Norton, RIP. That was crazy news to hear. RIP, Benji Norton, if you don't know, was obviously a huge piece of the 107.5, the game, and Columbia radio landscape for quite a while. Like 15 years or something like that, 15, 20 years. So, RIP him for sure. Prayers for his family. Crazy news. Crazy news. So, life is fragile, folks. Never take it for granted. Life is fragile. Don't take it for granted. Again, guys, we're taking your questions, comments, calls. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid. Phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. I'm really hoping, though, that this weekend is not an anomaly and it serves as the representation of the turning of a corner for Gamecocks baseball, right? Is it a one-off, or is it the start of a big run down the stretch? And again, the hope is that it represents this team, and especially the youngsters turning a corner and really growing up in front of our very eyes, because you're depending on so many young guys, and so many young guys are contributing. I mean, the Matthew Beckers, the Cade Austins, the Evan Stones, the Talmadge Lecroys, the Carson Hornungs. You're depending on so many young guys to be big-time contributors. And at this point, like, you're not a freshman anymore, right? You're not a freshman. You're a player for us. You're not a freshman anymore. And so, yeah, you need to hit 6-3 in your last 9. 6-3 in that last 9 to get to that coveted 15-15 mark. I still think it's a long shot for South Carolina baseball to make the postseason. I do. I still think it's a bit of a long shot. How about Pro Football Focus releasing their projected first round draft pick? They had Cam Smith taken at 12th, Jaheim Bell taken at 29th, no Spencer Rattler in their projected first round. Very interesting. Mark, what is South Carolina's record this year in football? Mark, you're going to have to wait till the summer, my guy. I think picking somewhere between 6-6 and 8-4 feels about right, but I will lock in my official predictions, Mark, the week of July 4th. That is the plan right now. That's what we're at on the schedule, on the calendar, if you will. So the week of July 4th, that's when we'll really kick into gear the preseason football content. It will begin with my record projection and record prediction. Score, game by game score predictions, all that good stuff. Ya Mule says, football. Got to start beating Kentucky, Vandy, Tennessee, and Mizzou if we want those high potential seasons. Indeed. Yep. Because right now it's like you got Georgia, and then you got Tennessee, and then Kentucky, Florida, Carolina, Mizzou are all just sort of in a bunched up thing together, and then you got Vandy, of course, at the bottom. So, here, let's jump to the phone lines here.
Call from
Justin.
Justin, what's up, man? How are you?
You're good. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
Hey, Chris. I was impressed with the baseball team last Thursday and Friday. Hey, Chris, they beat Alabama last year, but I still not sold that. I don't know Mark Kinsey. He's not the guy. We know that, but hey, Chris, it's just hard to look at baseball right now.
No, yeah. I mean, listen, it was a fun weekend, and it's one weekend, and my energy has not changed when it comes to Kingston. That I said in the preseason, I'll say it again. If you missed the postseason this year, I think change is needed. And if you make the postseason, I'd have no issue bringing him back. You know what I mean? Like, do I think he's the long-term answer necessarily? No. But if he makes the postseason this year, I'm not going to go crazy if he comes back. With that being said, again, this past weekend, it was a great weekend, a lot of fun. Question is, was it just one weekend, or can this team catapult off of it and turn it into a big-time run in these last 9 games? Because consistency or lack thereof has been a character trait of this team, and it's got to change down the stretch if South Carolina is going to make any sort of run. So, but it was a fun weekend. I mean, it was a series you absolutely had to win at minimum. Getting the sweep was just what the doctor ordered, but a fun weekend overall. Just looking at the weekend individually, a fun weekend. It was great to see this team. This team, I've never questioned the heart and the fight and the desire of this team. This team's continue to battle, fight, scratch, and claw, do everything it can to achieve victory. So, happy to see them have some success, but you're going to have a lot more of it if you're going to even sniff the postseason, have a chance to sniff the postseason when the dust settles in a couple weeks.
Oh, yeah, I agree, Chris. And Chris, the thing about this is, listen, you got to look at the big picture, right, Chris? Because we've been through some baseball Chris times, look, the Chad Holbrook did not work out, right, Chris? Because it didn't work out for both parties, right, Chris?
Well, Chad Holbrook was the guy that followed Ray Tanner, and the guy that followed Ray Tanner basically had no chance. I mean, just to be honest with you, had no chance. You never want to be the guy that follows the legend. You never want to be the guy because the expectations are so incredibly high. They're so incredibly high, which, high expectations are a great thing. But after the run of success South had, Chad Holbrook was in a nearly unwinnable situation. But, I mean, yeah, overall, listen, the Holbrook era, what happened. And, we moved on, so, yeah, I mean, it's led us to this point, but, it's a tough job in a sense of like you have to win. And that's not to say we should lower our expectations because we absolutely shouldn't. But, the expectations are high here. And if you don't meet them, you got to move on.
Oh, yeah, I agree, Chris. And Chris, and think about this. One time, Saka was trying to get Kevin O'Sullivan. Remember that?
Say what now?
Saka was trying to get the Florida baseball coach, Kevin O'Sullivan.
Yeah, Kevin O'Sullivan. Yeah, they were trying to, and that was the year Florida went to the College World Series and won it all. So, didn't work out for that reason. But, yeah, so he's still at Florida.
Yep, and Chris, they still doing well because, look, the guy is not left yet,
Yeah, Florida's a great baseball program, and they also promised him they were going to, improve facilities, and they certainly did that with that new baseball stadium.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And Chris, they want to try to get somebody else, too. I can't remember who was the next candidate. I can't remember his name now.
Yeah, I don't – that last search, I don't remember exactly who they were trying to get outside of him. But, again, this search, if there's going to be a search, I've got a short list of names, but I guess is it really even worth talking about until there's an opening, right? So, again, still season to be played in this season, 14 regular season games left, including 9 – or I think that's right. Or maybe 12 – no. Let's see. I think 14. Either way, 9 very pivotal SEC games left. So, got to find a way. Bottom line. I mean, I tell you this. You can feel however you want about Mark Kingston. And I know I'm stating the obvious, but the bottom line is we all want to see South Carolina baseball make the postseason. The selection show for the bracket is May the 30th. And that upcoming weekend are the regionals. And the last thing I want to be doing is sitting at home watching other teams play. You know what I mean? That's the last thing that I want to be doing. So hopefully they can make a run. I'd really love to see it. Truly.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too, Chris. And Chris, I would love to get to win the SEC tournament time and get to a postseason and maybe get to our Sundays cry,
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I mean, again, you got to – there's still a lot of work to be done. You take on a red-hot Texas A&M team this weekend, then you got Kentucky, which you should win, but you never know. It's the SEC. And then you got to go to Gainesville and play Florida. And you got to go on the road for 6 of your last 9 games, and you haven't been good on the road. So, we'll see. This team, who knows what to expect.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Chris, if I got you, man. Hey, Chris, how's your trip to Florida, man?
Yeah, my trip was awesome. I appreciate you asking. It was a really, really good time. Great weather. Really enjoyed the parks and great crew of guys we were with too. So we had a blast.
That's awesome, Chris. Hey, Chris, did you get the Spider-Man ride or the Hellfire ride?
I did, bro. We basically did, we pretty much did them all. So yeah, I did Spider-Man, did all the Harry Potter rides. Blast, man. It's a lot of fun. So like I said, we had a really, really good time.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, Chris. Hey, Chris, did y'all do Transformers too?
I actually did not do Transformers this time around. Some of the other guys did, but I've done it before. It's a fun one. I've done it before.
Yeah, yeah, Chris. What Transformers like?
It's basically Spider-Man. It's basically Spider-Man, but with Transformers theming. It's the same ride concept. Dark ride. Yeah, 3D.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
It's fun.
Well,
You should do it. It's fun.
oh yeah, I gotta check out that probably soon. You know.
Yeah, that's a good time.
Awesome. Well, hey, Chris, what I say, man.
Hey, Justin, I appreciate you, my guy. Always a pleasure to chat with you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. Take care. Great stuff. 843-790-3377. Joey Guyton says Rattler seems to be quiet. I think he knows he has a lot to prove again at his new home. I hope and believe he's going to have a really, really good season. Yeah, I think certainly he knows there's a lot to prove. He knows he's got a lot of doubters. You know, he's not immune to seeing the stuff on social media and listening to the talking heads and all that. So, yeah, I mean, he knows he's got a lot to prove. So, no, Mark, I am good on Jack Leggett. No, thank you. If we're going to try to lure anybody out of retirement, it should be Ray Tanner. But Ray Tanner is not coaching baseball again, folks. Let's just go ahead and get that out of our heads. Just get that out of our heads. Let's see. Again, guys, quick reminder, podcast dropped this morning, episode 643, a full breakdown of what happened over the weekend. Also talk NFL draft. If you guys want to talk NFL draft, we could. JJ Nigbari going 5th round to the Packers, Kevin Harris 6th round to the Patriots, and Nick Muse 7th round to the Vikings. Also, Zaquandre White and Jabari Ellis both being signed as undrafted free agents. White going to the Dolphins, Ellis going to the Giants. Talked about that on the show. Also, Lamont Paris picked up a piece, Abrima Dibba from Coastal Carolina. As he continues to build out his roster. So a lot of things happened over the weekend. Also, the transfer portal with Trey Atkins and Sam Reynolds in the portal. Justin Turnentine also in the portal. Brandon Martin hit the portal. So a lot of moving pieces over the weekend. A lot of moving pieces. Really, really exciting stuff. So, again, we talked about all on the podcast and more. And like I said, guys, we are back to a normal schedule. It feels great to be back in studio, back to a normal schedule. Podcast Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Wednesday's show will be a full preview of the midweek game, your midweek primer, everything you need to know. Friday's show, of course, will be a little bit of a midweek recap, but mostly looking ahead to the series against Texas A&M, full series preview, breakdown, prediction, all that good stuff. And, yeah, again, we'll keep rocking and rolling and doing the damn thing. Guys, we're going to jump into a quick break, but I want to continue to hear from you, more of your questions, comments, calls, and more. On the other side, you're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. Excuse me, I just downed an apple real quick over the break. Again, we are taking your questions, comments, calls. I do want to continue to hear from you. By the way, I want to welcome any new viewers of the Daily Crow. I figure we might have some new viewers today because and I'll get to that in a second. Let's jump to the lines.
Call from
Colin Davis.
Skyland, what's up, man? How are you?
Man, I cannot believe that we are talking possible postseason talk for the Gamecocks.
Thank God. It's better than the alternative.
What I'm going to say to get in the postseason is this, because we do not have a good overall record, sitting at 22-20. But if you just would have won the games you should have won, and took 2 out of 3 from Missouri, took 1 out of Georgia, you're probably in the postseason right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
let's just talk. You got to win your weekday games. You got to win every single weekday game list. You got to beat A&T. You got to beat Upstate, and you got to beat Charlotte. That's what you at 25.
I think that goes without saying for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta at least win every series. That would put you at 15-15 if you take 2 out of 3 of each series. But I'm being realistic. I think the Gamecocks drop 2 out of 3 this weekend. A&M's hot. You're at A&M. The Gamecocks don't play good on the road.
Yeah.
But if the Gamecocks can take 2 out of 3 this weekend, I'm talking about, I will be historically happy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, yes, you take 1 out of 3. If you take 1 out of 3 this weekend, you have to sweep Kentucky at home. You just have to.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to find a way to go 6-3 over the last 9. I mean, whatever recipe that is, you have to. Yeah. I don't see any way you get in if you finish up below 500 in SEC play. I mean, your hopes are already slim to begin with, but anything less than a 500 or better finish in conference play, I don't think you even have a chance.
Or you just can win every game the rest of the season and host a regional.
I mean, yeah, could do that. Could do that.
I'm sure if you go undefeated the rest of the way and you finish the season, how many wins you'll have?
You've got, I think, 14 games left. I want to say.
You finish the season 36.
Or maybe you have 12 games left because you have 3 midweeks and 9. Yeah, 12 games left.
Well, you finish the season 34-20. You're hosting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and you'd also be freaking 18-12 in SEC play, which would be insane. No, I mean, I think realistically right now, I mean, I'm probably picking this group to finish 13-17 in conference play.
Yeah.
I think that's realistic. I'll tell you this. I'll really start to believe and buy into this team if you go take 2 out of 3 at A&M. I'll really start to think, okay, like we're on to something now. But, yeah, it's we'll talk about it more later in the week, but certainly a challenging weekend, man. I mean, A&M in the latest D1 rankings, they're ranked 13th. I mean, they're super hot right now. It's crazy what Schloss is doing with them, their head coach, Schlossnagel or whatever. The job he's done has been incredible. So,
yeah, I am really, really hopeful. Because, like, even if we make it and get beat up, I'm still, like, ain't the postseason, like, much better when the Gamecocks are in it.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, dude, I mean, there's none of us want to watch a postseason. None of us want to watch a postseason with Sal Kana not in it.
Oh,
I think that goes without saying.
This is my prediction, Chris. I'm just forgetting about something. I got 1 out of 3 versus A&M, and that will put you 2-2 that week. So you could be 24-20. I say you beat Upstate, you're 25-20. 2 out of 1 versus Kentucky. You're 20, whatever. It don't matter where you finish. If you, like you say, if you win 13 or 15 games, you have to win a couple games in the SEC tournament to
Yeah.
give you a fighting chance.
Which, of course, we do so well in Hoover. You know what I mean? We're just we love Hoover.
Oh.
We love Hoover. So
The worst team. But you know what?
and the SEC, you know what's funny about it? The SEC tournament is so much fun. It would be nice to be there a couple of days, but for whatever reason, we just
It's
struggle to
set
do
up
so.
for that.
Like, I'd just love to see South Carolina get to the double elimination round. That's it. That's literally it.
If you win 2 games in Hoover and you're 13 or you're 15 games, if you're between that 13 and 15 games win, if you win 2 games in Hoover, you have a fighting chance.
Right.
A fighting chance.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you know what sucks? Even if you have a fighting chance, can you rely on your offense to overtake pitching? If you score 8 to 10 runs a game, I mean, I don't care how bad your pitching is, you got to be able to win them 8, 9, 10 run games.
Yeah, I mean, it's you need guys like an Andrew Eister who broke through this past weekend. You need him to step up. He needs to be playing his best baseball this time of year. Brant Belt needs to be Brant
Good
Belt.
news.
You need your veteran guys. I know you have all these freshmen contributing, but you need your veteran guys to step up, man. Got to have them step up.
Josiah, well, I don't know about him no more. He has absolutely turned the page.
Yeah, Seidler's
But
been crushing.
As a couple of weeks ago, him and Kevin Meadow was coming back to school just because they have the years that they thought they'll have, and they hurt their draft stock.
Right.
But now, if Butler crushing it the way he is, I think he improved his draft stock. So with the way he's been crushing SEC pitching, so I have no idea now on the 2 answers.
Right.
So, but it would be great. I
For
just
sure.
feel like,
Like I said, I'd love to see this team make a run, man. I mean, baseball's a funny game. When you get hot, you get hot, and so who knows? Maybe we can. Maybe we can. It would be something. That's for sure. It would be something.
you get that tattoo so you can make it.
Make it to Omaha, my guy, not the postseason. Omaha. Yeah, I still feel pretty safe. I still feel pretty safe.
I don't feel like I'm pitching and get up there.
Yeah, I think that's asking a little much, but hey, you never know.
Oh man, come on, Gamecocks! You got me smiling again about Gamecock baseball.
Who'd have thunk? Who would have thunk it was possible?
Oh man. Anyway, can't wait for basketball season and football season. Very, very excited about this week. I will be watching. So let's get it going, Yarcocks. Let's stay hot. Fuck it. Let's do the unthinkable. Let's win every single game we got left. Let's go on a 15-game winning streak.
Why not? Dude, I would love to see it.
Make me eat my crows. Make me eat my crows.
Hey, we'd all love to see it, my guy. We'd all love to see it.
I'll eat my crows. I'll eat it with a smile. I tell you. All right, well, enjoy your day.
Skyline, I appreciate it, my guy. Always a pleasure to chat with you.
Hopefully the Gamecocks do a job.
Hopefully so. Appreciate you, my guy. Great stuff. 843-790-3377. Again, hey, who knows? Maybe you can start playing your best baseball this time of year, and we'll go from there. All I know is this, guys. The selection show is May the 30th. That's when we'll find out. That's when the selection show is. We'll find out where we're going, if we're going anywhere. And if we're not, it's crazy to think June's around the corner. As I told you all before, if we're not in the postseason, the plan probably for that week will be, just depending on how the SEC tournament goes, probably drop a podcast Monday, do the Crow, probably drop a pod Wednesday to recap the season, award show, all that. But that'll probably start our 3 to 4 week hiatus, So I mean, if there's no Gamecocks postseason in baseball, we're going to have a bit of a break, a bit of time to take off the chill. So, again, we will cross that bridge when we get to it, but would love to see. I mean, I'd kill to see South Carolina baseball in the postseason. It's just, I mean, I know we all would. I know we all would. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3370. Rebecca, what's going on, Rebecca? Appreciate you tuning in, Rebecca. Great stuff. Great to have you in here as always. Skyland says the Gamecocks give themselves a fighting chance to make it, but do not. Do we still fire Kingston? I have a feeling Kingston's going to get an out and going to return because of how young we are and the injuries. It's almost like there's a built-in excuse. I'm not saying that Skyland, I agree with it, because I don't. But I think he probably will get that benefit of the doubt. We'll see. That's just my 2 cents. I think he probably will, though, get that benefit of the doubt. Anyways, guys, also, I mentioned the NCAA football content, the streams, and all that stuff. I'm looking at the schedule to see if it makes any sense to start the Road to Glory or do the Road to Glory streams. We will start the NCAA Dynasty streams July the 11th, that week. That's also the week we'll start our opponent preview series with Georgia State, Arkansas, and Georgia. So, yeah. Going to be a lot of fun. Going to be a lot of fun for sure. And also, once baseball season's over, the Daily Crow will scale back to 1 hour instead of 2. You know, I say that, though. We could probably still do 2 hours. We could probably swing it and do 2 hours. The Daily Crow will probably just be a little bit inconsistent over the summer, just to be honest with you guys. So we'll see. Again, like I said, cross the bridge when we get to it. Focus on the present moment. Yeah, Justin, you're seeing young guys step up. And that's what gives you hope for the future when it comes to Gamecocks baseball. These youngsters, the Evan Stones, the Matthew Beckers, the Lee Croys, the Hornungs, they at least give you hope that brighter days are ahead. So. Justin says, Chris, I was shocked that Parker White and Jalen Foster didn't get drafted. Well, I think as far as Parker's concerned, life's just tough for a kicker in the NFL. I mean, kickers don't get drafted. There's so many of them available. Kickers don't get drafted. Jalen Foster, that one surprised me a little bit more. I'm not surprised he didn't get drafted. I'm surprised he hasn't been signed, though. And that also Parker hadn't been signed. So. It's tough, man. Tough to get a job. Travie, no, I think Julian Bosnick's done in college. I'd be shocked if he came back. He didn't have to come back this year, and it didn't work out. So if he came back, I'd be a little surprised. I think he's probably ready to take the next step. But who knows? I mean, maybe he does want to get that year of college that he missed this year. I mean, we'd all love to see it. It would help the roster tremendously, but I'm not banking on it. So certainly not banking on it. Barrett Salee, good buddy of the show, good friend of the show of CBS Sports. He wrote an article, guys. SEC spring football overreactions. Here's his take for South Carolina. Overreactions now. Spencer Rattler will finish in the top 10 in Heisman Trophy voting. He says this might not seem too bold based on the fact that he was the front runner in the Heisman Trophy odds this time last year. But the national perception has changed dramatically after he lost the job at Oklahoma to Caleb Williams. Rattler still has the talent to top the 4,000-yard mark, even though his receiving corps isn't as talented as the one he had in Norman. The Rattler redemption story will resonate with enough voters to get him inside the top 10, even though it's unlikely that the Gamecocks will contend for the SEC title. And I'll tell you guys this. Spencer Rattler throws for 4,000 yards. We're going 9-3. There ain't no question. No question in my mind. No question. Let's see. Yeah, college baseball is crazy this year, guys. I mean, from the way Texas season's going to, I mean, just the SEC in general is the parity's incredible. So it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts, to be honest with you. Anyways, guys, phone lines are wide open, 843-790-3372. You can also text that number as well. I wonder what people do. This isn't it, because, you know, obviously it's a thing, which is fine. But I just wonder what the people do that just check out when it's not football season. Like, what do they do? You know, they just don't watch sports anymore. Do they just go fishing? They just work and hang out with family. Like, you know, what do they do? You know what I mean? Like, we're in it 24/7, but what do the people do that only tune in for football? I wonder. I kind of wonder what those people do. Tony Helton, if you're tuned in, I appreciate you, Tony, for putting in an order. And I appreciate you guys, your love and support in the merch, man. It's awesome. Merch is still rolling. And yeah, so really do appreciate you guys. Let's see. Yeah, Justin, I agree. Again, the bright spot for baseball, all the freshmen, man. Just so many young guys helping you out. Stone Blanton's Twitter. Yeah, dude, I mean, he's a good baseball player. Yeah, I mean, certainly he's going to play both. I mean, there's a reason. I don't know if you follow Perfect Game and their rankings and their ratings of guys, and if you put any stock into it, but you know, they had him ranked as like an elite prospect. So I'm no doubt very, very excited for Stone Blanton to get on campus, not just for Gamecocks football, baseball as well. And I think he's going to be a good linebacker for us. I think he's going to play. I think he's going to play this year. So I think he'll be a piece for us this year. Again, guys, by the way, stay tuned for new merch upcoming. I'm going to be taking all of our designs and putting them into tank top form. So if you like tanks, you guys know I'm a tank guy during the summer. Tanks will be available by tomorrow. I will have the tanks put up of all of our different designs you can think of. So really excited for that. There's tons of them that are not available yet, and that's my bad for not already having them up. But yeah, excited to get those up. Excited to get those uploaded. Podcast dropping this morning, episode 643. Check that out. Check that out for sure. Yeah, I just got to figure out the dates, guys, but I definitely do think we're going to do like Road to Glory content, NCAA content. I'm going to bring it back because this is the slower time of year, and I want there to be content happening. And so I'm just not going to sit around and like whatever, you know what I mean? Just, we need something outside of baseball. We need something other than baseball. So heck, it may start tonight. You never know. It might start tonight, and I just haven't told you. You know, I might make that decision. Maybe do Mondays and Thursdays or something, or Mondays and I don't know, Fridays, Wednesdays, whatever. But I think a Road to Glory series would be a lot of fun with Spencer Rattler. I think it'd be a ton of fun. I think that would be a ton of. You guys let me know what you think. And I'd probably stream it late. Later in the day so people could tune in. So more people could tune in, I should say. So I think it'd be a lot of fun. Personally, I think it'd be a lot of fun. And it's something I love that content. I think it's a blast. So we might just do it. Guys, we're going to jump into one final break, but I want to continue to hear from you, more of your questions, comments, calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Final 15 minutes or so here on the Daily Crow. Taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. Jeff Gullidge says, I'm mostly a football guy. I follow the other sports, but not as much as football. For me, when it's not football season, I focus more on family time. During the season, we play in family stuff around game time so I can watch the games. During the offseason, I catch other sports when I can. Watching every day now keeps me up to date on all the other sports. So big thanks for what you do. Jeff, thank you, sir. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Appreciate your love and support and you tuning in. I was about to get to this earlier, but I wanted to say welcome to any of our new Daily Crow listeners, anybody who's never tuned in before that's now tuning in, because the JB and Goldwater show does no longer exist. It no longer exists, which is crazy and sucks. You know what I mean? The more content, the merrier. And it seemed like those guys had a pretty good run. I had met, Luke RJ. There you go. Luke RJ on cue asking the question. What's going on, Luke RJ? Thoughts on JB and Goldwater quitting their show? Did you know those guys? No, I didn't know them. I didn't know them all. We never interacted. I did see, I believe it was the JB guy. I did see him like at a baseball game last year and just said, what's up? And like, hey, keep up the good work. You guys do a good job. But that was the extent of any conversation we ever had. Never any talks of going on each other's shows or anything like that. So, obviously they gave Gamecock fans and really just college sports fans and sports fans in general a fantastic, streaming option or digital live show, if you will, on a daily basis. And, it's a shame to see it end because, again, the more the merrier, right? The more content's available. That's, it's great for competition. It's great for just the health of the overall sports media landscape in this area. But, listen, it's tough, man. It's a grind. And at some point you hit a point where, it's possible to hit a point where you want to pursue other things. You know what I mean? And I guess I don't know their situation. I have no idea why they're doing what they're doing, but they had a good run, I guess. So, but either way, anybody who's a Gamecock fan that was tuning in to JB and Goldwater and they're no longer live, hey, welcome. Appreciate you all tuning in. And if you guys have feedback or you obviously the phone lines are open. You can call into the show. You can leave comments. You can text in, whatever you like. And if you got feedback, you can give me that too. I appreciate it all, sincerely. I really do. So either way, we got less than 15 minutes to go. Here's something interesting I thought about over the break. This NIL stuff, it's easy to look at like the situation going on with the Pittsburgh wide receiver and Southern Cal and say, it's while the numbers are absurd, it's no big deal, whatever, it's NIL, more power for the players, great. Can you imagine the chaos that would ensue and the hell that would break loose if this happened between, say, rivals? Can you imagine, like, if there was a player on South Carolina or on Clemson and one or the other schools was trying to get a player from the other school and was offering to pay them a certain dollar amount and they were going to leave? Like, can you imagine how messy that could get? Can you imagine how messy that would get? Wild to think about. Really is. So it's the Wild Wild West, and college football, we're just figuring it out as we go. So there's got to be some sort of structure. There needs to be some sort of governing body, a competent governing body. I'm all for NIL. I'm all for players getting their paper. I'm all for name, image, likeness. But there does have to be some structure because this whole just no rules, do whatever, it's not working. It's not working. There's got to be some sort of structure. So, but again, as I told you all before, the people that are saying, oh, NIL transport, I'm not going to watch college football anymore. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're not going anywhere. Because at the end of the day, when you boil it down, college football is still college football. It's still your team's logo slapped on the side of a helmet. It's still your favorite team's entrance. It's the pageantry. It's the tradition. It's the fight song. It's the alma mater. And I think that's what some players need to realize. It's bigger than you, man. It's bigger than you. Hey, get yours. Get yours. Got no issue with you getting yours, but it's bigger than you. The program was here before you, and it will be here after you. That will never change. And while there needs to be adjustments made, right? There needs to be adjustments made, things revised a bit, leadership step up and take the necessary action. College football is going nowhere. College football is going nowhere. So, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. So, 843-790-3377, guys. Final 10 minutes or so. Final 10 minutes. I'd love to hear from you all. What's on your mind? Let's see. Shane Beamer and Steve Spurrier paired in the 2022 Peach Bowl Challenge, the golf tournament. How about that? That's hysterical. That is hysterical. Let's see. May 3rd. Oh, that's tomorrow. Reynolds Lake Oconee outside of Atlanta. Nice course. Very nice course. That's pretty dope, man. That'd be so cool to play in. That would be so cool. I mean, obviously you got to be a football coach, but that's really cool. That is really, really cool. Justin said, when we get the Clemson alums off our board of trustees, maybe then we can progress further. Maybe that's got something to do with it, Justin. Maybe that's got something to do with it. Who knows? Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe you're onto something there. Mm-hmm. Gamecocks ranked 65th, by the way, in RPI. That is going to be an important number. As we go down the stretch, for South Carolina baseball, that will be an important number. That will be an important number. But yeah, man, Gamecocks baseball, huge weekend. You know, you had to at minimum win the series. Getting that series sweep was massive. And again, like I said, hopefully it's not a one-off, and it really serves as a representation of this team turning a corner, getting hot at the right time, playing its best baseball when it matters most. 9 SEC games left. That magic number of 15-15. Can you take the momentum from beating Bama and do something you have not done all season, which is win on the road? Because you're going to have to. 6 of your last 9 games are on the road in SEC play. So you're going to have to do that. I still think it's a bit of a reach. I think it's asking a little bit much of this team to go 6-3 in the final 9. I think more realistically, you're probably going to end up, 4-5, something like that. Maybe 5-4, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So. By the way, did y'all have any thoughts on Will Sanders' pants? That was such a talking point this weekend. He's been doing that all season. But yet it was, I tell you what, it set social media by It set social media crazy. Greg Bedinger says, win 6-9 on SEC and win all the midweek. Yeah, I mean, you got to win the midweeks. There's no question. You got North Carolina A&T, which should be a 7-inning slaughter fest. And then you got USC Upstate and Charlotte, both of which obviously should be wins. So you should be able to take care of business in your midweek games. You should be able to. You should be able to. And I tell you what, I am very excited to get back out to Founders Park Wednesday. I will say as much fun as I had on vacation, I missed it. I missed it a lot. So I am looking forward to getting back out there. Matt Sellers, are they still considered pants above the knees? I don't know. I mean, when you throw 96 like he does, I think you can just kind of wear whatever you want. How long are the socks? They make baseball socks pretty long. I think what he had on, though, I think he had long baseball socks, and he also had, like, leggings on, like compression workout legging. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I guess we got to ask Will Sanders. I don't know. If we could get him on the show and I could ask him, I'd do it. But yeah, people were going crazy on social media, man. They're getting short. Yeah, Daddy O, at some point, we're going to get into season. There's going to be no pant left. He's going to be wearing leggings up there, right? Literally just wearing leggings. It's going to be purely, hey, but you know what? If you keep shoving, whatever. It's like Parker White's getting his shot in the league. Somebody reporting that he let's see. Somebody reporting he's getting invited to a rookie camp or something like that. I'm not seeing it anywhere, but I don't know. Interesting. Guys, either way, side note, again, check out the podcast that dropped this morning. Full breakdown of what happened over the weekend. Yeah, again, I know we didn't really talk about it today, but 3 Gamecocks drafted. Kevin Harris, JJ, and Muse getting drafted. Nick Muse getting drafted. How about that? Luke RJ, when it's not football season, people just live their lives regularly like people who don't watch sports. They work, watch TV, they go hiking, they go camping, they go to the lake. Some people just don't like sports. Luke, you're right. Some people don't like sports, man. Some people don't like sports. I hear you. Luke RJ said they live their life. During football season, they don't live their life. Now, I get what you're saying, though. People during football season, they construct like their weeks and their weekends around the team. I mean, really, they do. So, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I thought it was a funny question earlier. Just whatever. So, guys, we're about to hit 2:00. I appreciate you all tuning in, man. It feels so good to be back. Truly, I'm so blessed and so fortunate to do this on a day in, day out basis. And guys, it's so fulfilling. And you guys help me achieve my dreams each and every single day. So I just can't say thank you enough. I'm so grateful and appreciative of each and every single one of you. And again, excited for a great week and excited for the great month of May, by the way. We just started May. It's the year's flying by, but I love that the weather's warming up. We're getting into summer, pool season, lake season, beach season. Things we love to see. Guys, hey, I appreciate you all tuning in. I am out of here. Thank you all so much. Like I said, check out the podcast that dropped this morning. Stay tuned. Again, we're back all week long, live here, noon to 2, each and every single day this week. Guys, again, appreciate you all tuning in. Have a great rest of your Monday, and we will talk to you tomorrow.